The idea here is that this is something that's buried under the ground. Hopefully the smell stays contained with a lid on it, keep the critters out. We'll be able to come out here and just dump our compost stuff right in there, right? We went to Walmart today, got some boots. This is like the first day that it's not freezing outside. I mean, I guess it was not freezing yesterday, but it was still cold. It was like 60 degrees today. So I want to get the composter going outside and inside. Wendy's almost done with that project. I'll show you that too. But we want to put the composter in over by the shed in the ground. So I'm going to bury it. It's kind of our crap pile. You see the can right there. I'm gonna drill some holes in it, and basically I want to sink it down into the ground up to the handles. It's upside down right now, but to the right about that line, into the ground. We don't have a lid for it. It was here when we moved in. I did find the lid number, so we're gonna order that off Amazon, and just drill holes so the worms can get in, and basically it'll become a vermicomposter. And you know, between the being underground a little bit and the worms doing their work heating up the compost, it should stay nice and warm and work all year round. So that's kind of the goal today. I want to at least get the hole dug. I can take the can indoors in the garage and anytime I want, get that taken care of. The other thing we did is we went to the feed store, and you can't really see it. We got a bale of straw right there. Hello, straw. And we have this big mud pit that we put in, unintentionally a mud pit. It's supposed to be a nice area. We mulched it and everything. We put down weed blocker, but our lovely puppy pulled everything up. And basically this is an area where she runs a lot back and forth. You can see she loves to look over that fence. This is all gonna become privacy fencing this spring, but for now we're gonna put straw down in that area and hopefully limit the mud. We'll see. All right, it's still raining. I ended up taking a shower. I really wanted to get like a time-lapse video or something, but it was raining so hard. There, you can see it now. It's almost down in there. Get it finished tomorrow. Hopefully it won't get too cold. All right, take 2 on the in-ground vermicomposter. You see, got a bit of a hole dug the other day, but it was raining just so hard and we had to get the kids. And I had a meeting, so just had to bail on it before it was finished. But now what I'm gonna do is finish digging the hole. Want to get a little bit deeper than it is now. Make sure it fits in there snugly. And then I want to drill 1/2 inch and 1 inch holes around it so that the worms can get in there, and then we'll get it packed in down there. Had to make a quick pit stop down at the feed store. Got the hole dug. You see that wire hanging out there? That's from the electric fence, which we accidentally cut when we were digging in the yard one other time. We didn't even know we had one. Anyway, yeah, I needed to get some gravel. I want to put some gravel in the bottom and make sure we have some decent drainage. Don't want any water kind of sitting on this. Definitely wouldn't be good for the worms. You can see I got it in the ground now. Put the gravel under, filled in around it. We've actually been meaning to do this for a while. Got some rotted pumpkins sitting there. Got some leaves sitting over there. So I'm gonna fill all that in and then put the lid on when it gets here. And then we did a little project with a in-house compost container to hold things until we can bring them out. So I'll show you what that looks like too. Composter is set up outside. We've got the indoor composter. You can see it here. We picked this up at the, you can see the old color. There's some condensation in there too. We picked it up at the thrift store for like, I don't know, $5 or less. And we just had some spray paint left over from another project. And it's like a wrought iron spray paint. And so we just took it out to the garage and sprayed it down a couple of times. I was a little worried. We did find one. It's got like this flap right here. Helps kind of create a seal when I push the lid down. I was worried that might get too stiff if paint got on it, but it seems totally fine. So you can see it's full. I'll go dump it out in the other composter. And then we've got some bigger pieces from dinner last night that we couldn't fit in there because that was full. So let's go take that stuff outside. So what I'm trying to do is just create like a layer of food and then a layer of carbon in the dead leaves. So you can kind of see it in there. And the reason I like this setup is because, one, it's not going to emit that, rotting food odor. And with a small yard, it's not like we can necessarily put it on the back of our property. Actually, behind this fence line, we may do some bigger compost piles as well. It's just a hill leading down to the train track, so we may give that a try as well. So we can have multiple piles going. But the idea here is that, like, this is self-contained. It's easy to get to, especially in the winter, so we'll probably empty it out in the fall and start filling it again. And I'm not going to put any worms in it right now. I'll probably wait till it heats up a little bit more, and I'll give it a check and see if we're getting worms in there naturally. If not, I'll try to find a small batch and put some in there to kind of get it going, and they should start replicating at that point. But I'm pretty happy with how the project turned out. I like that we upcycled the garbage can. I like that we found, the indoor composter here. Say hi, River. Found this indoor composter. It works great. Didn't let out any of that smell. You can tell by that condensation that it's doing its job. And it seems big enough that you can get a day or two of scraps in there, at least in the winter. So we're doing it because we want to grow our own food here on site, and one of the things we need is a good soil, and we get free leaf mulch. I don't know if you can see it. All that mulch in that bed comes from the city. They come around and collect leaves every year, and then you can call them in the spring and they'll bring a half a truckload or a full truckload. We've usually been getting half a truckload, but we're gonna get a full truckload this year because we're gonna really up our growing space. We've got some space out front. We're gonna be converting some space out back, but we really just want to stop filling up our garbage can with stuff that can be put to good use, right? Like we can create amazing soil for growing our own food if we would just compost. And so that's what we're doing. We've been reading a lot about permaculture, and a lot of that is around saving, storing energy, reusing things, recycling your outputs to be inputs for other things. So like these are our outputs, right? And our scraps go to the dogs. They go, we're gonna get chickens. They go to the chickens. We're getting, we've got the composter set up now, so we'll feed the worms, and they'll give us an output that we can use on our vegetables to grow new things. So, you know, it's really just looking at what you're outputting, and can you put it to good use as an input for something else. And so it's an input for the worms. The output is going to be that compost, and then that becomes an input for the garden. So super excited about that. We may even contact, there's some local restaurants, we may contact them and see if we can get their food scraps. And if we can get, we'll just do some, what do you call those? The pallets. We'll just do like a 4-sided pallet composter, and we'll just start throwing that. We'll just take stuff out behind the fence and kind of get that going. So I'm excited. Hopefully this works out. I'll update you maybe in a month or two when it warms up. We'll take a look and see if there's worms in there, and I'll let you know how that's going. Ooh, can't take the camera out, it's raining.